The single worst feeling in Smite is getting first blood. It doesn't matter whether you're playing Conquest or Duel, Arena, whatever. It sucks. You're never, oh my god, I got first blooded. I can win now. No. Getting first blooded sucks. And the worst part about it is it often leads to you getting second blooded, third blooded, fourth blooded, and then you're mashing the F6 button and it's only 5 minutes into the game. These games are really what cause people to rage. Now, some people take this rage and they throw it at their opponent. They BM them when they die. They tell them they're bad to make themselves feel better. Some people turn this rage back to themselves. They get really frustrated after missing a kill or start choking more than ever. Now, although these are pretty natural responses, and I think most people do this in Smite, it's actually really counterproductive to taking back the game, which is really what you need to do. In fact, I take advantage of this against people who I know have the tendency to rage and play emotionally because they often will go in for kills that they really can't get, or they'll AFK in the middle of a fight, or they'll even F6 at 10 when they really shouldn't. And this goes back to the fact that being a high-level player is not only about knowing how to steamroll people and style on them. It's really what the games that define the high-level players are the games where you get your 0-3 and then you come back for an upset victory. Now, of course, that's a whole lot easier said than done. It isn't even an easy set. It's completely illogical. How am I supposed to tell you to win against someone who you once lost to, and now they're doing better than you? They have more items. It just doesn't make sense. But, hey, that's what I'm going to try to tell you how to do in this video. And the first and foremost step for this is to not rage, or at least keep the salt to a minimum. You really need your brain power more than ever. Winning is not too hard. Like, playing when you're winning is not that hard. You just need to do what you were doing because that got you to the winning position. Just build your cookie cutter build and steamroll to a victory, really. While you're behind, however, it's a completely different story. You need to hit all of your skill shots, pretty much, or at least much more than they do. You need to have the perfect balance of enough defense so you don't get one-shotted, while still having enough offense and utility that you can take advantage of their missteps. Now, even if you do everything I'm about to tell you to do in this video, you won't really win even 50% of those games, because you're losing, right? Like, Smite's a MOBA. In MOBAs, when you're ahead, you do better. Just as I said in the winning video, when you get ahead, your chances to win skyrocket off of a first blood. But I think you'd be surprised about how many losing games you can turn into winning games just by following a few of these steps. Alright, so let's get into that game. This is an Ullr versus Onher matchup, as you can see. I think Ullr wins this matchup, but it's not like a definite thing. I'm going with the Bluestone Red Pot build. I think it's really good on Ullr. The only people I don't do it against usually are like Bologna, like tanky warriors, pretty much. And we're both going for meditation. That's just because the red buff is so important early on, and also because it scales decently into the late game. He's going for Golden Bow. That's generally what I'd go for on Honor. I mean Throwing Dagger. The reason I'm willing to trade with him here is because I have Red Pot. Usually you wouldn't want to trade with an Onher because his auto attacks are more powerful due to his passive. This is old Throwing Dagger, by the way. I am pretty sure. So it has 10% crit chance. And it costs less. Actually, I can check by how... Oh no, never mind his new Throwing Dagger, because he has 2 health pots and 1 mana. I'm assuming he wouldn't just not get a second mana, but maybe he would. Alright, so this sucks. That is really bad. I just lost more than half my health. I should have been in the green stance. However, I'm going to punish him a bit here for not having his jump up. I could have hit him a bit more. I just potioned here, I should have potioned earlier. The meditation's right there, and he lives at 10 health. Yeah. I get another red pot. I wouldn't do that every time, but as an Ullr against someone with pretty good clear, because having Golden Bow just gives you good clear. If you can't clear, like, you're nothing. So I just made the decision to go to Golden Bow. I'm not sure if it was the right one, but it's the decision I made. Did I say Golden Bow? I meant Red Pot. Just clearing the wave, not going for the red buff. I know I can't get it. If I'd gone for it much earlier, I could have gotten it, but then I would have sacrificed the wave, so really what's the point? He gets good wall stun on me. I shouldn't have been in the sand. I should have tried harder to get out of the sand. Because that makes it easy to pillar stun. That wasn't... I mean, it was a good pillar if he followed it up with anything, but he didn't have any follow-up. Alright, just clearing the wave, getting pillar stunned again. I say pillar, I mean impaled again. Really sucks. It does so much damage, and then he gets an auto attack on it. Right, that wasn't the greatest jump on his part. He took a lot of damage from minions for that jump. I'm just baiting a back here. I really don't want to let the red buff go. I haven't conceded that yet. You can see his wave clear is pretty much as good as mine. Now I have 10 seconds before his meditation comes up. If I can manage to get a good stun here, I can kill him. But I can't. He is at low mana, but meditation will bring him up to enough mana. Still though, if I can get some decent hits on him, I can kill him. However, that doesn't happen. Instead I die to a pillar stun. I would go back. I would go back, but the skipping function on this is terrible, so I'm not going to go back, just in case it takes forever to get back to where I wanted to go. But I'm pretty sure I could have switched faster. I'm not sure, though. So I'm going to try to rush red buff here. I was pretty sure I'd be able to do it. Or at least secure it if he came over, which I was. And I didn't dodge his impale, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna get away. Either way, he doesn't have his ult. He doesn't have any kill potential. Alright, so right here, it kind of sucks because I'm letting him do exactly what he wants his golden bow as a throwing dagger on her, which is clear the wave while backing up slowly so that he can group them all up. But I don't really have any option. That was a missed 3, and here I made a really important decision. This is definitely how to play from behind. Buffs are all his. Like all the buffs on the map are his now. If I get one, that's a steal. But you can't feel entitled to your own buffs anymore once you're far enough behind. And I am pretty far behind. 2 red pots, because I didn't mention this, but I got a red pot the second time I spawned. Oh no, I did mention it. But anyways, 2 red pots down, and also 1k gold down besides the red pot. Like, there's just no way. So I tried to steal that blue buff, but I didn't over-invest. I didn't jump into it. And for my own blue buff, I was low enough, so I just backed. I didn't try too hard to get it. You just have to concede some things when you're behind. The last auto attack really sucks that it hit me. I was waiting for him to jump. Meditation to survive a few of those. Throw the axe to stun him out a bit. Good style points. There, that pause may not look important, but you see how I had 8 health at one point, and the minion did 18 damage to me? I waited for the other minion to die, or for it to deproc for me. Had that other minion hit me, I would have died right there. Alright, so I did talk in the intro about changing up your build a bit. In this case, I'm not going to change up from my normal build, but that's just because this build is pretty ubiquitous. I use it when I'm ahead or behind, because when I'm ahead, the structure damage from it is really good, and when I'm behind, the defense comes on much earlier than normal builds, and it also has ability damage. Ability damage is very critical when you're behind, mostly because it's the only kind of damage you're going to get, because you don't want to trade auto attacks. If you're trading auto attacks, you're going to die, because his auto attacks are so much more powerful than mine. Especially because he's building a takeable. So building auto attacks, trading auto attacks is a bad thing. Here, I'm only trading auto attacks so I can also interlace abilities. You never want to be trading autos. So because of that, you have to rely on ability damage, as I am here. Get a nice meditation out. And a 1 for the win. Now, the reason I didn't jump in on him was because I didn't know if he had his ult up, so it would be fairly dangerous. I still wanted to leave my jump up for the possibility that he could burst me down. There he just kept playing aggressively, and he really shouldn't have. Overestimation. And that's something you kind of have to rely on when you're behind. You have to rely on your opponent overestimating themselves. Shit, my computer's going into night mode, which the darkness lowers. I'm losing some frames. Damn. Whatever. Okay, so Transcendence boosts your ability damage very heavily while still giving you some good auto attacks. So that's why it's really valuable. Because I'm not going to be trading, so I have to get damage in somehow. So that comes from my abilities, which end up doing a lot, no matter how far behind you are. Especially because he doesn't build any defense. Builds have defense a bit later in them now, so ability damage is a lot better. Also, it's not bad auto attack damage, like 190. That's pretty good. Right, he gets a stun on me here, and he can actually go for the kill, kind of. But he goes way too hard. He forgets I have meditation. And the patented wait a few seconds for the last auto attack. Don't want to drop the kill. Had I missed 2 more, which was unlikely, but definitely much more likely if I just machine gun fired, I would have lost the kill. So no reason to do that. No, because there's nothing else I can get. I'm just gonna take the buff, which is pretty good. Okay, another good thing to build while you're behind is defense, so you can't get one-shotted. That's exactly what I'm doing right here with the Breastplate of Valor, and that's part of why this build is so good behind. Something that's not very good while you're behind is lifesteal, which this build builds a bit later than most builds. Most builds have lifesteal as boots, lifesteal, boots, Ichable lifesteal, or boots lifesteal. This build has lifesteal 4th item, 4th real item. So that's pretty good because when you're ahead, you kind of want to lifesteal so you can sustain and eventually take the tower and poke them out. But when you're behind, like again, it always comes back to the fact that you're not going to be auto attacking much. Your auto attacks just aren't too important. They're like additional bursts between your abilities. The reason I'm juking a lot more there, and I wasn't just machine gun attacking, wasn't because I was afraid of missing. Far from it. He was not really juking too hard. I had played against this guy enough that I know that, by 9 minutes into this game, I played against him enough to kind of understand his patterns, and I could tell he was trying to set up for an impale on the wall, so I just juked around a bit. Also, I've noticed that even when I'm juking, he'll try for an impale, so you won't just wait till I'm not juking, so that's another nice thing that I can use to my advantage. Also, he doesn't really try to dodge the 3s. That's pretty bad. He also goes for those jumps, which are really bad. Okay. Something else that's super important is the active you just got. You got Shell, and that's important for 2 reasons. Firstly, it's why I jumped away right there. I don't want to fight while I Shell up. Notice I am level 14 to his 12, so I have the advantage. However, or I would technically have the advantage. However, I'm actually still kind of in gold due to the 900 for my red pots. And he has lifesteal over me, and he has Ichable. All of that together, I think, puts him in the advantage for fighting. Plus he pops Shell. But anyways, the other important part of Shell will come in. I want to talk about the Bold Demon. So the Bold Demon King, not too relevant here. When you're even with someone, it just doesn't matter. He's... The only way it really affected the game was because it made me want to back to get Aussie here, because I knew that if I died, he would get the tower, and I really didn't want that. So I got Aussie for the extra survivability. It's surprisingly good. You just, especially when you're leveling your ult as Uller, you have 15% lifesteal plus 40 with the passive. You have 55% lifesteal in dire situations. So you can just, in the middle of fights, you can just go for those, just lifesteal off some buffs or some minions. Alright, so here's why it's significant that he got Shell. I can just use my weakening and he doesn't have a sprint, so I just kill him for free. He can impale me there, but now I'm just gonna wait for his jump and kill him. Doesn't matter that he hit me with the knock up, just go in for the kill. He jukes, but it doesn't matter. He's so close to me, I'm just gonna kill him. So he jumped there to juke my axe, but it didn't matter. He did juke my axe, but that's only a good play if he can fight me once he jukes my axe, which he really can't. Like that's Transcendence is incredible. Now, why don't I go for Ichable? Ichable is like the great equalizer. No matter how far you are behind, after 3 auto attacks, you'll often catch up to someone. Another ADC. Your auto attacks will start doing as much to them. Well, the answer is actually really simple, especially when you're behind, but just generally as Uller, you will not be doing like your. I answered this question in my other Uller video, but it's even more true when you're behind. Your auto attacks are just not that important. It really comes back to that. Your auto attacks they're not. If you're doing damage to their auto attacks, you're probably losing when you're this far behind. Well, I guess I'm not behind anymore, but when you were as far behind as I was. Oh, and the reason I waited in well there was because of the Titan's Bane. I wanted to get rank 2 Titan's Bane because he just got Hide of the Nemean Lion, which means that Titan's Bane gives me about 30 penetration. That's really good for the cost. See, he doesn't really try to juke my abilities. Well, my axe he does now, but not my other stuff. My axe is super valuable, so I'm not just gonna throw it out when he's get back baited. And that's the perfect example. That's why my axe is so valuable. It just gave me all that damage. Put him down half health. Now I'm just gonna go fight this when he backs, because there's nothing else on the map, so there's no reason to not do that. Because my minion wave is not gonna get that time. So I just get the damage I can. Then I run away because I don't want to fight him when I'm at half health. Gonna finish Titans. And the reason I didn't wait for full health, it's not too relevant when it's only 100, but often I would. It's just this time the red buff's coming up so soon, so I really don't want to give it up. And again, it turns out it's significant in scale. I go for the hot steal, and I get it. Perfect. He went for the jump. Like, this guy keeps on going for the jump. It hasn't worked since that first like thing that he did. Since that first jump that put me to half or like quarter health, his jumps have just been not very good. Because also this build though, that tower damage with the defense item, it's pretty crazy. He's going for Fatalis again. It's irrelevant. He should be going for penetration right now. I guess I could switch over to him because now he's playing from behind. Alright, I'm building into chins. This is just my standard Uller build. For more on that, you can go to my Uller video. Although, it's actually pretty shitty quality. Oh, by the way, the quality of this video, I'm hoping, should be like pretty much like you're playing the game. Because I'm using Shadowplay now, which doesn't allow as much complexity. It's like no complexity at all. But at least when I looked at a few test recordings, it looked incredible. So we'll see, and it also doesn't cause me to lag at all. Anyways, back to the game. That was a pretty shitty one. I should have tried harder. He has Fatalis now, but it doesn't matter. We're not auto trained like ever. Plus the creeping really hurts the Fatalis. It's a pretty hard counter. Sprint doesn't really counter Fatalis too hard, but creeping really does. Okay, this is a very important concept. When you get someone really low, but your minion wave isn't there, you should definitely go for the Titan even if you can't kill it. Even though it resets, if you can get more than 15% of its health down, it's a win. And I got a lot more than 15% of its health down. Because all it resets for is 15% of its health, so even if it heals a lot, you still got that damage. Some of it stays. And that's really how you have to win the games in Joust now. It used to be able to backdoor it a lot more easily with the bug, where it wouldn't proc if you stood in a certain location. But now they took that bug out, which I'm kind of ambivalent to. It makes ending games a lot harder, but it was pretty cheesy. Oh yeah, that's just playing as the player right here. That juke, if I've learned that against this guy, if you juke enough, he'll just fire out the impale out of, I don't know, almost frustration. Now I slow him down, so he has to jump away. I don't think his jump was even up. No, it wasn't up. But if his jump was up, I wanted to have the creeping down on him so that he had to jump away. And if he jumped away, I would just catch up with my jump. And now we go for the win. I jumped on the wave there again because I wanted to use it. I wanted to save my wave clear. In the first situation, it was because I didn't have wave clear. In this situation, it's because I want to save the wave clear. And we go for the win. All right, so you can be 2 red pots down and 2 kills down in the first 2 minutes of the game and come back, and not be like in a ridiculous matchup. These are characters who are on the same tier list, or who are on the same tier level. Like, don't give up. You can always win. Do whatever you need to do to stop yourself from raging. I often shut off the stream. Like, I'll get 3rd blood and I'll just nope, not streaming anymore. But often, right when I shut off the stream, I'll start to improve. I curse myself because I'm like, oh, this would have been such a good video. But yeah, I think I might have actually done it with this game. I don't remember. But anyways, to recap, auto attacks aren't important. Go for ability damage if you can. Obviously, some gods you can't really go for ability damage. That's, I guess, why Ulers are better at playing from behind. Bait them into bad situations. I didn't go over this in the video as much, but kind of staying at low health really baits them into tower diving because they get frustrated. And play the player. That's kind of a subsection of playing the player. Understand how they'll react to certain situations and take advantage of that. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the improved. I hope the equality is improved, and if it is improved, I hope you enjoy that. If you have any suggestions for either this video series, like concepts you want to see in this video series, or another video series you want to see, or how I could do this video series better, please leave in comment section below. And thank you for watching. See you next time.